That's it?
That's it. You're on.
All right, sounds good. Hey everybody, welcome to Muni Misfits. We got a great show today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff happening in the golf world. A lot of stuff happening locally and nationally and worldly. Okay, so we're gonna dig right in. My name's Chris. We got Matt. We got Greg. Together we're the Misfits, and we are gonna talk about Fargo golf first. Okay, you guys ready? We're gonna go round table, talk about what's happening at our facilities, and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. At least with Osgood, I can start there. We've got our first couples night tonight, and we're filled. We're filled on that. We've got the photo scavenger hunt is the game of the night. Have you heard about this one?
You did it last year, right?
We did.
I heard really good things about it.
Oh,
I still
that's
have a couple of photos that they gave me.
Oh boy, yeah.
That'll be a big scavenger hunt if I have photos.
So the way the game is played, everyone gets a list of things that they have to take a team selfie in, and then they earn points for being able to do these selfies, and then they have to turn in their scorecard. It's a basic scramble, and men and women play, and we have a hoot. So that kicks off at 5:30. It's 5:30 shotgun, and we're pretty excited to have everyone back in action for couples night. We also have our tailor-made fitting day tomorrow afternoon from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So currently, I think I've got one spot available. So if you do want to check out TaylorMade Fitting Day at Osgood, you can certainly go to the TaylorMade website and look at custom fitting, and you can go ahead and schedule your fitting on there. But I think there's one available, and I don't know what time that is, but the event goes from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock tomorrow. So, and are you guys as excited as I am about running lightning and weather delays for the past few weeks here?
That's been a challenge.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So how have you guys, like, we did actually get all our league play through, which is just like, holy cow, I can't believe that, the clouds parted just enough for us to be able to do it. But it was so crazy. We talked about this last week, but it's so crazy how, like, you're dry, we're wet, there's lightning over here. What happened? We don't even know that there was a storm over on this side of town. So, but anyways, you guys league play, go off without a hitch, or did you guys get through it all?
Now we've had probably 2 or 3 Thursday nights that we've had instances as far as weather coming on through. That happened last year too, but it was nice as it was kind of either really late in the day, so it might affect like the last hour and a half of tee times, and that was kind of a washout. But this year it's been kind of like a little bit earlier, and it's been a little bit more of a challenge. And so that being said, we could use some rain on the south side.
Come on
We
now.
don't need more on the north side.
We
It
need
is dry.
0.
It's weird though. I mean, you had like 2 inches, or close to it anyway. The one day alone, we got like almost nothing, or we might have gotten nothing.
So in the last 6 days, we've had almost 4 inches of rain.
Wow.
Yeah, you're topped off. You're good.
And I don't know if we've had
4
sure you
drops.
probably- yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had that much rain, but we've had to, I mean, it's just been a test of patience to be able to, people don't play in lightning, people, okay? Do not, we talked about this on the phone. Do not, if it's time, if the siren goes off, if the air horn goes off, don't play. Just your little PSA, right? We want to make sure that, you live to play another day. And we had some issues where we're just trying to pull people off, and it tests your patience trying to get all the masses of people off the golf course, and then of course getting them back on the golf course. So
Yeah, and it's like we don't do this because we want to have you in the golf shop, hounding us for an hour and a half, but when we're going to get back on the golf course, we're doing this for your protection because we do care about your safety. And I know we did kind of talk a little bit about that the other day when we had that. We didn't really have any rain coming on in, but there was thunder, and we're seeing literally vertical bolts of lightning very close in the vicinity. And, we had blown the horn, and any golfers out there, you do not have to wait for a horn either. I mean, if you see something, it'd be, best in your interest to start heading back on
Right.
it. But we even went so far as going out to talk to the group, said, hey, lightning is very close to the area. We would like you to come on in for your safety. And a lot of them just kind of blew it off like, it's no big deal. I'm not having issues. And it's like, no, it's pretty serious
The
stuff.
hard part is you don't get two chances here.
Right.
You do not.
It's not like if you make a mistake, it'll be okay. Yeah, no, you're done.
Exactly.
So just be careful. I mean, seriously, be careful out there.
Yeah. So that's what else do you guys have going on? Let's kind of go round table. What do you have for the week,
For
the
us,
weekend, or going forward?
For us, we do have our two-man scramble on Saturday, and so we've got a nice little field tomorrow morning that'll be going tee times off number one, beginning at 6:30. We'll have open tee times beginning, I think, as early as 9:30 following. So it'll be just a busy general public day after that. Otherwise, the week's been kind of light as far as besides league activities. Last weekend, we hosted the North Dakota Floorball, which went really well. We had not too often, you have like a perfect weekend with almost no breeze whatsoever. It was hot, but I mean, it was a great day, and scores were pretty good day one, a little higher day two, but that's always a fun event. We had some really good players come on in. And, we last week, I think we talked a little bit about hole in ones.
Yeah.
And I went into the event, so they do a great job of pretty much running everything now. Both Tim Doppler from out at Riverwood Golf Course, who's the executive director of the North Dakota Golf Association, and then Chris Geis, kind of his right-hand man, and also runs kind of like the North Dakota Junior Golf Association. They were both on site. They pretty much did everything for me. So all we had to do was be in the golf shop to like sell carts to the people that wanted to ride, which was pretty much everybody, as hot as it was, and get the golf balls on up, get things set up. And then one of the other things too is whole location sheet I did for everybody. So I went out and set the whole locations earlier in the week. And Saturday I kind of went at it. I knew that they were going to sell a lot of games. And one of the games that they did was a hole in one contest. So you could buy into that. And if you made a hole in one, they had kind of I don't know if it was like a continuous pot or if it was a set pot. I don't remember, but it was $3,300.
Yeah, it was carryover. It was
Okay,
carryover there. Yep.
Okay.
So is this through the North Dakota Golf Association?
I believe so. I can't really answer that.
They've got like different like wings, like even their foundation and other stuff. And I don't know exactly where that money was coming from or if there was a sponsor. But anyhow,
We'll talk about that later in the
blurred lines.
Yeah. So anyway, then I end up trying to make it intentional that I was going to make the whole locations for Saturday very accessible. Outside of, I think there was one that was a little bit more challenging. The other three were pretty accessible. And I thought, we'll give them a good chance anyway. And sure enough, Greg, I think, was out there at the time. And
I wasn't on that hole.
Right.
I was 3 holes ahead of that.
Yep.
But heard it.
Yeah. And I think you had texted me first just to kind of alert me, thinking, hey, there might have been a hole in one. I'm like, really? And I hadn't heard anything, and I hadn't been on the golf course. And then it was a short time after Tim Doppler had texted me also and said, hey, we got a hole in one with no other specifics. I didn't know who it was or even what hole it was. And eventually it started coming in and said, yeah, it was on hole 11. And eventually then I found out that it was Edgewood's own Scott Sorbach.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, how cool is that? So Scott wins $3,300 for that shot. Was kind of the big winner on the day. He looked like someone shot his dog afterwards because I don't think they played quite as well as they wanted to in day one. I'm like, man, dude, you're the winner here. You could go ahead and just put the clubs in the.
They were 5 under through 5 holes.
Yeah.
I don't know what they finished, but it wasn't that.
No, it was probably closer to level or maybe 1 or 2 under. I don't remember exactly, but like I said, I didn't care. I mean, like, dude, you just won the event. And then, and so that was really cool. So I was talking to Scott and his partner, Mike Holm, the next day. And I said, Scott, if anybody complains as far as the whole locations, as far as on Sunday, I'm saying it's your fault because Sunday were much, much more challenging on the par threes. Now the hole in one was done. It's like, okay, now you get a chance to go play ball. So, but that was kind of cool. So that was kind of basically what we had going on this week at Rose Creek. So it's been a fun and active week once again.
Awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on in Edgewood?
Yeah. Just like you guys, right? I mean, school is out. Junior golf, Fargo Parks Junior Golf has started. So we have a lot of activity in the mornings, which is awesome. It's awesome to see familiar faces and parents. And it amazes me. It amazes me how many parents stay and watch. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. And it's probably easier than going back and forth. So we have a lot of activity there. We start corporate events this coming week. Our men's night has been good. We've dodged bullets. Tuesday night, we got rained on a little bit, but then it got better and then rained late at night. Ladies League has been good. Yeah. So we're just kind of starting to get into the flow of what a summertime activity is.
So yeah, as far as junior golf is concerned, that just brings the level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It just starts bringing that level all the way up to max, right? Because now every part of the facility is just rocking. So, and it's fun to see too. And I will also echo the fact that parents now they are staying, and we are seeing a lot of parents actually utilizing that time to like maybe practice a little bit.
sure.
So that's actually pretty cool to see. I like seeing when the parents come out to drop their kid off and then go hit some balls or go practice putting, and that turns that whole activity into eventually it'll be a full family activity, and that's how we secure golfers for futures to come. So yeah, I think kudos to parents for coming out to do that. I think this is a good segue too to talk about Tori and her experience. As you just highlighted, you got ladies night out at Edgewood. Tori, I need an update. What is happening with your golfing career? I think your mic is your mic up? Now, yep. Now I'm off. Now I'm off.
I can't hear you at all.
Now I can hear Greg.
Can you? Oh,
Now,
There we go.
Hey, we're on.
nothing is happening.
What? So when we left last week, we were talking about your amazing practice and you had a program set up. What's
Yeah.
happened? Have you gone back to the short game facility? Have you gone hit some balls?
No, I have not.
Did you do the potato deal?
No, but my blister is healed.
Okay,
I forgot about the potato.
keep the potato in the hopper then. We'll
Oh.
so
I was
Just-
going to bring one today too.
were you? So you've gone radio silent. What is no practice, nothing?
No, I have like 3 jobs,
Okay.
and I play many sports. I'm an athlete.
You
Elite
are
athlete.
You've told us that.
Okay.
No, I just got busy, and our marketing team, our ladies' night team, cannot play all of June, so we got rained out the first week, and then we couldn't. We've got weddings and
okay. I'm gonna tell you one
Are
thing.
you getting married, Tori?
no,
Okay.
Breaking news.
I'd rather die.
That's so good. All right. So I'm sorry, I got to process that. All right. So one thing I will say is if you do lose one day, that's fine. 2 days, or we're talking in weeks right now, 2 weeks, whatever. Eventually that becomes a habit, right? And eventually I don't want to get to the middle of the season here, Tori, where you're just like, I'd rather do something else.
Yeah.
You got to fan the flame a little bit here.
One of my toxic traits is if I'm not immediately good at something, I give up.
But from what I hear, you are pretty good at this.
No.
Perception, right? It's all about perception. I mean,
Okay.
it is seriously the fact that you were working last week on getting up and down on chip shots and stuff, like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So
I do need to make it a priority, but it's still supposed to be fun. It can't be a chore,
it's true. That's true. Well, okay. Well, I was expecting really big things today. Maybe next week.
Yeah. I don't have too crazy of a weekend, so
Okay.
I'll get out there this weekend.
Sounds good.
Sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
mean,
but that's a normal, right? I mean, this is a normal function of what happens sometimes. Sometimes life gets in the way, and if you don't schedule it, just like anything, now, if
Mhm.
you do not schedule it, it probably doesn't happen. It would be no different than us playing golf. If we don't schedule it, chances are it's not going to happen. So, do you want me to send you like a Outlook invite to
Yeah. Just make
play
sure.
golf meeting or what?
Yeah. Just make sure it's right in the middle of the workday.
we can do that. Yeah, marketing, team building meeting. Yes. There you go. So, what else we got locally? Matt, you're kind of our boots on the ground for local golf. Seeing as that you have to follow a lot of golf because you've got an exceptional golfer that lives at your house. That happens to be
my
related
wife?
to
It's not you.
Yeah, we're the high school golf's kind of postseason tournament season has either begun or has just finished on up. And in North Dakota, it just finished up this past week. And so we had both Class B and Class A going on. Class A was out in Dickinson this weekend at Hart River
Yep.
Correct.
Golf Course, and sounded like out there too. I think it was a reasonable weekend as far as weather-wise, or a week, and not a huge surprise. But West Fargo Cheyenne ended up taking that down. They had a really fine team this year. I mean, they were certainly the best of the East, and I don't know a whole lot about some of the West teams, but I would guess that they probably were the best of the state all year long. And yeah, they topped it out with a 579, shooting 284, 295, with Red River in second at 607. And kudos, congrats goes out to Nate Pearl from West Fargo Cheyenne. I think they had 4 seniors this year, so very senior laden team. However, they have got like a lot of people as far as in their stable, young kids coming on
Yeah,
up.
they're reloading for
I
sure.
talked to Dan Wolf a little bit this morning. He was playing out our place, and I tell you, between like West Fargo, Cheyenne, Davies, North, maybe even South a little bit, they're all pretty young. Even Red River, I think, has a lot of kids that are quite young, and so I mean, we've got some really good kids coming up through the system, which is awesome to see. And so hopefully you'll see some continued good golf. But Nate Pearl shot 69-70, 139.
One by 5, bogeyed the last hole.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
And Zach Scarprud finished up from Shanley at 144, followed by Wilhelm of Cheyenne at 145 and Carson Scarprud at 145. So, great tournament. A little bit of kind of scuttlebutt as far as I think they're talking about like the last hole as far as 18, which is a par 5, if I remember correctly, as out there. Whole location was on a lower level, and it sounded like, they hadn't had any rain out there either. And things were kind of starting to get very slick as far as in that green. So I think there was multiple 3, maybe even 4 putts out on that green. Got to be a little bit challenging. And so, but other than that, it sounded like I think the golf course is in pretty good shape, and it was a good state tournament. And then we had the Bees that were over at Boise Sioux and Wahpeton Breckenridge. And that one, I think, was Central Cass won.
Yes.
Quite large, I think.
Yep.
They Central Cass ended up shooting 623, followed by Oak Grove at 329. So that was really pretty cool to see.
Let's go back on that. What do we got?
And then
you said 629 was that was 2
first,
days,
and then 329 was.
I'm sorry, 623. I was going to say, because I knew Central Cass won by a landslide. 656 was second, Oak Grove.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they were like math in public, 30 shots clear.
Yeah.
So
And
2 days though doesn't take very long.
no, it
Right.
doesn't. Yeah,
Get to
those totals add up pretty quick. So
one guy I spent a lot of time playing junior golf with in college and was my college roommate was Troy Hall, who actually runs the water plant in Fargo. And Troy's a great guy, still plays a little bit of golf. His body's beat up a little bit, just like mine. And, but he was a really good junior player and high school player from Hawley, Minnesota. And his son, Aiden Hall, great kid, plays for Northern Cass. And I know that's something golf's been very, very passionate to Aiden, and he's worked really, really hard in his game. And he ended up shooting 148, which was medalist honor. So he ended up winning the Class B. So that was so cool. Aiden, as of now, is going up to UND, not playing golf at this point. I don't think got a lot of looks. Once again, I think Aiden's been a very, very good player, just hasn't done enough as far as to probably grab some of that attention. And I don't know how much he's done also as far as trying to, reach out to see about it. I think he's just a really good student as well. So I think that was first and foremost the most important. But
winning a Class B title though can change that pretty quick.
It can launch careers.
Yeah. And then I think second place, I was just a shot behind, was Carson Coolseth from Bowman County, and then Cole Holzer and Zach St. Aubin from Central Cass and South Border at 150. So I think that was also a really good Class B. Chris Geis from the North Dakota Junior Golf Association, I know, was out there with that and just does a fabulous job of really kind of electrifying that tournament. I know I saw some like social media a year ago about the A's, saying, why can't we be more like the B's and do it? Because I think they'd really do a nice job there. And so anyway, that's a great job by Chris Geis and everybody else that kind of helped out with that event. So yeah, those two are concluded, and now they'll get on. In Minnesota, they're starting up. They'll have state tournaments now starting to begin. So I think even through next week, So yeah, it's kind of exciting time of the year, and then they'll get right into a busy junior golf season. So
And then also we've got, I mean, as far as tournaments on the horizon, we do have Red River Am
mhm.
coming up quick.
Got Discover Golf Junior Tour starts Monday.
I mean, there's a lot of exposure for these kids
Red
to be
River
playing.
Am on TV. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah, we haven't even highlighted. You're right. We haven't even highlighted Discover Junior Golf. That starts on Monday. Boom. There's so much stuff going on right now. Do you guys just like feel like you're just hanging on for dear life? I mean, now that June's hit, it's like boom. So,
Yes.
all right. Okay. We ready to actually go back on what we said we would never do? I mean, one thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So there was bombshell news, right? And I think we'd be remiss not to at least talk a little
Yes.
bit about it, right? So when was this? It was like 3 days ago? 3 days ago?
Could have been Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
Just a random Tuesday.
So yeah, right. And do you remember I called you and I
You
was
did?
like, you got to turn on the news. And you told me it was fake.
I did.
But that was also my response to when a kid in the golf shop told me
Yeah.
this is what's happening. So in one swift move, we had Jay Monahan and what is the
Yasser.
Yasser.
Yasser
Yep.
Rumayan.
Jay and Yasser had a private meeting, and now we are looking to combine the Saudi Golf conglomerate with the PGA Tour in one big mashup of weirdness. I have no idea how this is going to unfold. How much backwards talking, sideways talking is going to have to be done to, validate what was said prior to and make everybody whole again, because this is one big weird mess that golf is in right now. What are you guys taking out of this?
But my immediate reaction is hear everybody around, the players, everybody like, bye, Bushwood. It's, if I would have, my initial reaction, like I received a text from Nick Weimer and said, hey, does this mean our PGA dues will be lower? And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? And so I text him back and he's like, oh, you haven't heard the news about the big merger between PGA Tour and Live? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no. And he goes, no, seriously. He goes, check it out. And so I didn't get to look at it right away, but later that afternoon, I was reading into it a little more. And, my immediate reaction was like, obviously shocked, really quite complex, because everything that was being tossed around, thrown out in the media, and all of the talking points were that this would never, ever happen. There was never going to be a negotiation.
Oh, this
like
was going to happen. It just happened way quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
but no, I'm just talking as far as the talking
Oh no,
points.
the people.
I mean,
yes.
it's 100. And when you look at from the moral argument, it's 180 pivot.
Yeah.
I mean, from everybody involved. And it's like, how did all of a sudden this go whoosh, back this way once again? And so, yeah, it was crazy. And of course, then right away, I think as all the players on the Players Tour, we're probably talking about too, it's like, what hypocrisy, I mean, these are all like your immediate kind of reactions. Once again, it's like this, just like you said, this can't be true. But as you start to listen more and more, and you start to read more and more, obviously it almost, I was listening to someone else talking about this the other day. They were saying it's almost like, did Yasser and Monahan, and it's just like, just get together one night at the bar and it's like, yeah, we should start something new together.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like the three of us thinking, gosh, we should do like a podcast.